Dear students, about DSS, in the last class we discussed about DSS architecture. No? In the last class we discussed about DSS architecture and the influence of DSS with the help of hardware, software and manpower, people. Is it not? We discussed about the hardware, software and manpower. What are the architecture of the DSS? It is user interface, the system, knowledge, okay. And now we are going to discuss about the approaches to development at DSS. Approaches to development a DSS. What are the different approaches we can find while we are developing a decision support system? Okay, so the business intelligence tools are decision support systems aiding to decision making in an organization, aiding to for decision making in an organization in effective manner that provides with unbiased data analysis. What is meant by unbiased? Unbiased, it balancing the data analysis with real time monitoring and rich reporting. Rich reporting means influencing the reporting documents. Okay, so with clear information, with clarity information, supporting you make an informed decision in the least possible time span. The purpose of decision supporting system is by using the less time span, is it not? But now when you are using decision support system, we have to reduce the time span for the because of the emergency of taking the decision according to the situation. Okay, so a meticulously designed DSS makes use of analytical models. Make use of analytical models of various statistical and econometric tools of and human intelligence and insights to support decision making. So it means that when we are using the decision support system to uh, develop a suitable decision support system by using human intelligence and insight to support for the decision sub making. So this proves the importance of technology, is it not? After all, we are using a decision support system with the help of the technology. With the help of the technology means the models already are there in the system. Okay, by using the technology or the information system. Okay, and also methodology and approach behind designing and development of a decision support system. By using this, we can approach the best suitable DSS for the problem. Okay, so designing and development of a decision support system is a complex process. It is not an easy, but it is complex. Why it is complex? Because the various aspects that we have to consider, the various aspects that we have to consider to design a DSS. Okay, to you may face a number of issues. Okay, to design a DSS, we can face a number of issues like you know mismatch between the perspective of the programmer and decision maker. There are the chances of mismatching between the programmer and decision maker and identification of specific requirements. When you are designing the DSS, there is a chances of mismatch of identification of the requirement. When you are selecting one other than the other one, so what happens? Whole system will be changed. Whole system will be changed. And technology selection. So when we are going to use a DSS, it is based on the which technology you are going to use. There is a mismatch of technology of selection also. Approach to software design and development. What is the software that we are going to use to develop the best suitable DSS is also is dependent upon the approach to software development for the development of the DSS. So most of these issues can be resolved by identifying clear agendas. The agenda should be clear that for the what reason that we are going to design the DSS. What is the agenda of the, there are many issues There may be many issues for, but we are going to define a DSS for a specific use, for a specific person. What is the specific purpose is known as the a specific agenda. And brainstorming with team members. See, it is not so easy. It is a collection of team members, the nature of the work that they are spending on to design the DSS. Okay, and communicating the expectations clearly to the programmers. We have, you can have many things in your mind, is it not? A team of members are working for to define a DSS. It's not, team of members can have their ideas, is it not? You have to explore your idea to your team members, your team members. Then only if you open your idea, then only you people can understand what are the advantages or disadvantages of your idea, so that with that idea the people also can streamline the idea, so that we can select a best suitable DSS. And educating yourself about various technologies used in DSS. Obviously we can educate you when you are coming up with an idea. If you implement that idea, by sharing that idea you can modifying that idea, so that there is a chance of teaching and learning methodology, is it not? So that you are educating yourself when you are implementing the idea, trying to reach to a common platform with the developers. This is also is used for the to trying to reach to a common platform, to a common platform for the developers. Okay, so with this we can see the pre-design diagnosis and feasibility study. Pre-design diagnosis and feasible study. What is meant by feasibility study? Feasibility study is nothing but we are studying about the purpose of designing the DSS. Getting my point? Feasibility study is meaning is say that it is the purpose of study of entire the environment, feasibility study. And highlighting the feasibility means, highlighting the feasibility means we are highlighting few points of that feasibility study. Getting my point? It is we are highlighting. See, for example, 100 variations that we are going to study, for example, or 10 variations that we are going to study to define a particular DSS. So from that we are going to highlighting which are majorly influencing the environment, majorly influencing the environment. We are highlighting that the majorly influencing. So based on that majorly influencing, we are going to define the DSS. Okay, DSS, that is known as a feasibility study. And diagnosis of a decision making process, how the decision making process is going on step by step, diagnosed to minimizing the problems, to overcome the problems. And a feasibility study, just now we discussed. Choosing a system development approach, choosing a system development approach, we are going to making a DSS for best suitable for the DSS, for the best suitable for the DSS. And SDLC, SDLC is nothing but system development life cycle. Okay, system development life cycle, it explains entire the system, how the things are going to perform, that is system development, what are the different life cycles and how it is going to overcome, and how the problems we are going to minimize. Rapid prototyping approach. Okay, sometimes what happens, to take a decision support system we have to use the rapid prototyping approach. Prototyping is nothing but where the original, it looks like it's original, but we are creating a simulation model, that is rapid prototyping approach, how it is going to approach for the problem. And end user DSS development approach, end user, how the end user, see, when we are going to use a DSS, that we are treating as end users, is it not? We are treating as a end user. So when you are designing a DSS, how the end user is going to use the DSS, that is end user DSS development approach, and DSS project management. DSS project, how this DSS is going to be implemented, and DSS project preparation. DSS project preparation. Okay, so with this we are going to find the modeling and analysis. Modeling and analysis. So here we can think about the major DSS component. What are the major reasons, major characteristics or components of the DSS? What are the model base and model management? What are the different model base and model management? And familiarity with major ideas. What are the same familiarities of the major ideas? Okay, commonness. The same things, same repeatedly is having that. So what are the major ideas are common in that? And basic concepts and definitions. What are the different definitions and what are the basic definitions of the concepts? And tools, what are the different tools that we are going to use? What are the tools are influencing the diagram? When we are defining the diagram, what are the tools that we are going to use to define the diagram? To define the diagram, different notations, and model directly in spreadsheets. And model is going to use for spreadsheets. Okay, so here structure of some successful models and methodologies. Whenever you are using the DSS, so if it is successful, what is the structure of the successful models and methodologies? That depends on the decision analysis. It also depends on decision trees and optimization and heuristic programming and simulation. Okay, the successful of a best model is depends on decision analysis, decision trees, and how it is optimizing, and how we are going to use heuristic, the programming level, and how we are using the simulation model. Okay, and what are the new developments in modeling tools techniques? What are the new development models are using for a successful model, and important issues in model based management? What are the different things that we consider? What are the different things that we consider to define a DSS is a successful model? Okay, so modeling for MSS, modeling for MSS, that is marital selfless studies, modeling for marital selfless studies, and static and dynamic models. How we are going to use the static and dynamic models, and treating uncertainty, certainty, and risk. How we are going to define a model for certainty and uncertainty and risks. How we are going to minimize the risks, and how it is going to influence the diagrams. Okay, and how it is going to implement the MSS modeling in spreadsheets. When we are using the spreadsheets, how this MSS is influencing in the modeling. Okay, and decision analysis of a few alternatives. Always when you consider to define the DSS, it is not only a one DSS will be there, but there are the alternative DSS will be there. Alternate DSS will be there. Every aspect of one DSS is highlighting one type of environment. One type of environment. So if you go through according to one perspective, we have to use one type of DSS method. If you want to find out another type of alternative, we have to go for another DSS supporting system. Okay, and how we are going to use the simulation models? How we are going to use the simulation models? Multi-dimensional modeling. Okay, how we are going to use a simulation model is for multi-dimensional way of OLAP. What is OLAP? Online analytical processing. Online analytical processing. Okay, how it is going to a multi-dimensional modeling for online analytical processing. Okay, visual interactive modeling and visual interactive simulation. How it is going to interact with the model with the help of the simulation. Okay, and quantitative software packages. What are the different packages are using for this OLAP? For this OLAP and model based management. How it is going to benefit for the management of model based. Okay, what are the different key elements in most DSS? What are the different key elements in the DSS and necessity in a model based DSS, and also can lead to massive cost reduction when we are using this. What is the purpose of DSS? The study of DSS is explains about to reduce the cost effective of an organization, because already a situation happened in an organization is created as a model, and that model we are using for our purpose, so that we are using, so that the cost is reducing, for revenue also increases. Okay, and there are the different methods of using this DuPont rail system simulation model. DuPont, it is used for the railway system for decision supporting system. Okay, DuPont rail system is used for railway system, and Procter and Gamble optimization supply chain restructuring model is used for Procter and Gamble company. Okay, so Procter and Gamble is developed one DSS for supply chain management. Scott Holmes HP select a supplier model. See, Scott Holmes also developed a DSS support system, and Ameris optimization clay production model also is developed one type of DSS support system. DSS support system. If you see the Scott Holmes AHP select supplier model, that is DSS model, is like this. See here we can see that house 1, house 2, house 3. Okay, house 1, house 2, house 3, that is stakeholder, evaluating criteria and potential suppliers. Stakeholders is nothing but who are the involving in the model, who are all are the involving in the stake, the is known as the stakeholder, and evaluating criteria, how the stakeholders are going to use it, is going to involve in this, that evolving evaluating criteria, how they are going to potential the suppliers, how it is going to influence the suppliers. Okay, you can see the stakeholders and importance. What is the importance of the stakeholders, or communicating with the requirements, or communicating with the requirements and importance. Retain. Okay, retain is from house of quality 1 is communicating with the interrelationship matrix, is related to the interrelationship matrix, and that is house of quality 2. Okay, where the things are evaluating. Okay, and it is communicating with the evaluating criteria, that is importance rating is communicating through supplier code. Okay, so that is the first one is stakeholder requirement, second one is evaluating criteria, and third one is potential suppliers, how we can the potential suppliers. This is Scott Holmes is defined a DSS support system. Okay, with this the help of the DSS support system, what happens? We can see, we can develop the problem identification. We can develop the problem identification, and we can easy the environment analysis. It is easy to identify the environmental analysis, and it is easy to identify the variable identification, and we also can have the forecasting, how the things are going in an organization, whether the smooth way of organization is there, or is there any problem occurring in any department. Is it not? To run an organization is not so easy. We have the different departments. So what are the different departments are facing, what are the problems? So how can we overcome the problems? That is forecasting. And multiple model use. We can use the multiple models. We can use the we can use the multiple models. Every model is focusing a specific task, a specific task. So if we use the multiple models, we can go with the different models. Okay, and model categories or selection. Model is categorized and is can be selected for a specific purpose. And model management, how the model is going to manage in entire the department. Knowledge based modeling. Okay, to see to use a different DSS, you have to have the knowledge based modeling. You have to have the knowledge how the model is using, how the model is implementing. Okay, static and dynamic models. You can see what is meant by static and what is meant by dynamic models. A static analysis is a single snapshot. Is a single snapshot, or also you can say that it is a temporary, a specific purpose. A specific purpose. A dynamic analysis is a combination of different models, that are dynamic models evaluate scenarios, different scenarios we are considering and change over time and time dependent. There are the different scenarios. Every scenario is having a different time slots. Time slots. Trends and patterns over time. What are the different scenario is focusing? What are the different scenario is the purpose, the focusing? What are the different trends and what is the different pattern of the analysis? And extend static models. What is the extension of the static models? Okay, when you define the diagrams, it is related to graphical representations of a model. Is it not? It is a graphical representation of a model, and models, how we are going to define a model. That is known as model of a model. Okay, it is a simple statements of how we are going to define to addressing or to defining that model. Okay, model of a model and visual communication. How that model is communicating, we are addressing, we are explaining with the visual communication. And some packages create and solve the mathematical notations. Sometimes what happens, to use the model, we have to do some mathematical notations. Okay, we have to use the mathematical notations, that is rectangle, circle, oval and variable notations. Variable different notations defining to define a different model. Okay, for example, we can see the influence diagram for the profit model. Okay, what are the things that we have seen here? The oval shape and the circle shapes, rectangle, so many are there, no? So it is by creating a like this, we can define a model. So here you can see amount used in advertisement. How much amount is used in for the advertisement is communicating with the unit sold. Is communicating with the unit sold, and unit sold is depends on unit price and unit cost and fixed cost. Okay, unit is sold and unit cost and fixed cost of the unit and unit price. Okay, are influencing of income and expenses, that are influencing income and expenses. What is the income that we invest and what is the expenses that we invest and what is the profit? It is communicating, it is relating to the profit. After all, to establish an organization is meant to get some profit, is it not? So finally, what by investing so much money on that, what is the profit that we got? Okay, this is one model that we are trying to explain with the different notations. Okay, with the different notations. Here we can see the different models. Okay, the different models that are there in the market, or we can see that analytical influence diagram. Analytical influence diagram of marketing. How the things are there in the marketing. Okay, so here we can see relative price, advertising and price model, sales model, cost model. Is it not? Relative price and advertising is communicating with the price model, sales model and cost model. These three are also communicating with each other, is reflecting to net revenue. Is reflecting to net revenue. Okay, And net revenue is also communicating to discount rate, net present value, important to NPV, net present value. NPV is net present. What is the importance of net present value? What is the price that we increase, or can we decrease, or can we give a discount, or can we give a in addition, what you can say, to support to that to sell the cost, we can give what are the different issues can be considered. What are the different issues can be considered? Okay, this is one type of market model, and this is also one type of price model. Okay, price model, relative price. What it is? It is relative price and competition's price and market share. Competitors also will have the price, and what is our price, that is it is low or high, and what is the market share. So if it is a demand in the market, so that it is influencing the price also, is it not? It also influencing the price. So it is our price and average market price. What is the range of our price, whether it is high of the average market price, or it is low of the average market price. So how it is best for our organization, whether to keep our price is low or to keep our price is high. Okay, what is the demand of our price? What is the demand of our the price of the model? Okay, the price of the model. Okay, and here also we can see one type of another type of model, that is sales model. Sales model, what is the sales model, is it is explaining here, it is market size. What are the different areas of the market is using. For example, our product is using in what are the areas? What are the areas? Market size, product lifetime, is it not? So it also depends on the product lifetime and advertising per growth of year. See, so many issues that we have to consider. Here it is advertising per growth per year, what amount that we are keeping for advertising, so that when we are advertising for the particular product, how so much it is better for our product, in what way it is benefit to product. Okay, he is communicating with the market share, is also is communicating with the market share, and it also influencing the effectiveness of advertisement. It is also influencing effectiveness of advertisement, and it is reflecting to sales units. Okay, if the advertisement is going on in a smooth way, how the sales are increasing, how the sales are increasing in units, and it is sales revenue. So it reflecting the sales revenue, is it not? If more sales are there, obviously will the sales revenue will be increased. Sales revenue will be increased. Okay, so marital selfless studies, that is MSS modeling in spreadsheets are. Okay, what is a spreadsheet? Most popular end user modeling tool. Spreadsheet, see what is a spreadsheet? A number of different things will be there. Is using as an end user. Okay, is using as end user for modeling the tool. Powerful functions. Okay, it also will have the powerful functions and add in functions and solvers. Okay, so whenever it is needed, we can add the different models so that we can expand the spreadsheet. Okay, important for analysis, planning and modeling. Okay, it is also used for the important for analysis, planning and modeling. Okay, and programmability macros. Okay, earlier we were using the macros. Okay, macros for to development of the organization. Okay, and also we have to consider that what if analysis. What if the analysis we are discussing, we are analyzing the scenario. So what if, what happens if we consider this, or we have to consider this. If we consider this, what happens, or else we consider that, what happens. So if at all for, but our the basic motto is to get more revenue, is it not? To get more revenues to satisfy the customer, and we have to get the profits. Okay, and it also leads to Goal seeking, is it not? After all, after designing a product, that should be the final stage of the satisfaction of the customer, is it not? Satisfaction of the customer, that is goal seeking. And simple database management, okay, it also helps in simple database management, okay. And for that we can use the Microsoft Excel and Lotus 1 to 3, okay. Lotus spreadsheet 1 to 3, the different versions we can use for to create define the DSS, okay. Excel spreadsheet static model example of a sample loan calculation of monthly payments. See, this by using the spreadsheets or Lotus 1 to 3 Microsoft Excel, we can calculate the monthly payments. Is it not? We can calculate the monthly payments of a loan, or what is the revenue that we are getting and what is the flow, inflow, outflow of the revenue, inflow, outflow of the revenue. Okay, and see, when we are using the decision analysis of few alternatives, that is single goal situations and decision tables and decision trees. Okay, decision tables and is used for decision trees. What are the decision tree tables? Decision tables are communicating with the different things. That is investment example, that is maximize the yield after 1 year, is it not? So when the organization is running for 1 year, the after the year, what is the yield of after 1 year, what is the goal, whether we succeed or we are going forward or we are going backward, is it not? In the organization, what are the different strategies that we are managing? With the strategies we are in a good position, or is there any changes of the strategies that we have to face? Okay, solid growth, stagnation or inflation, where we are. Okay, where are we, whether we are in a solid growth or whether we are in a stagnation point or whether we are in inflation point. Okay, and the different situations also we can face that possible situations. Okay, if solid growth in the economy, bonds yields is 12%. Okay, if we are in a solid growth, so the bonds yields are 12% and stocks should be in 15% and time deposits are 6.5. So these are all comes under the economics of the organization. So what are the economy of bonds that we should have? What are the bonds that we have to have is 12%. What are the stocks that we have to have is 15%. And what are the time deposits that we have is 6% of the growth. Okay. If stagnation points, the bond should be 6%, the stock should be 3%, and the deposits are 6.5. Time deposits are 6.5. Yet we are at stagnation point. If we are in inflation point, the bond should be 3%, stock should be 2%, and time deposit should be 6% yield. 6% yield. Okay, so view problem as a two-person game. How the different alternatives are influencing, that are decision variables, uncontrollable variables, and result variables. Okay, it depends on decision variables, uncontrollable variables, and result variables. What are the decision variables, or whether it is alternatives or whether it is a direct variable. Alternatives are direct or individual variable. Uncontrollable variables are states of economy. What are the different states of economy and what are the different results that we are focusing on? Results variables are projected yield. What are the different results are projected of yielding? See, this table is explaining about investment problem. That is the investment of a problem. That is states of nature. Okay, what are the different values of solid? What are the different values of stagnation? And what are the different values of inflation? Just now we have seen there is defined as a table here. Is defined as a table here for bonds, stocks, and CDs. Okay. And what are the treating uncertainty? What is the treating uncertainty? That is optimistic approach and pessimistic approach. Okay, what is meant by optimistic approach? Optimistic approach is nothing but we are optimizing to define to support the by using the one kind of approach. Is it not? So we are optimizing the scenario for to use the one type of approach. Pessimistic, we are trying to exist. We are trying to exist in the pessimistic approach. Okay. So what is the levels of risks here? What are the different types of risk levels are there? That is use known probabilities. What are the different we already known the probabilities and what are the different risk analysis, that is compute expected values. Compute to compute the expected values and whether after expected values whether we are reaching the expected value or not. Okay. So what are the risk analysis, and based on the risk analysis that we have to compute the expected values and what are the results. What is the results? Whether the results are meeting the expected values or not. Okay. Or whether we are in can be in danger place or whether we are in can be dangerous place. What is meant by dangerous place? Whether we are in going downward, whether are we going in a downward or we are going in a upward. Upward is nothing but profit side and downward is nothing but the problem side. Okay. So simulation. Simulation, as we know that simulation is approximate imitation of the operation of the process. Imitation of the operation of the process, it is not, it is not the original but it is looks like an original. Okay. It is looks like a original, that is imitation of the operation of a process or system that represents its operation over time. Okay. It represents its we are influencing the simulation model. So in the simulation model we are working on that. If it succeeds, we implement the same model in our real time scenario. In our real time scenario. Okay. Simulation is also used with scientific modeling of natural systems. Is also used for scientific modeling of natural systems or human systems, or also using for human systems to gain insight into their functioning. To what is the purpose of the simulation is using for, we are implementing the our things in the simulation. So how it is going to be, what is the result that we are going to get, whether we'll get a gain or we'll get the loss. Okay. The major characteristics of simulations are imitations reality and capture its richness. Imitations reality and captures its richness. Richness means how it is influencing the scenario. How it is influencing the scenario. Okay. Technique for conducting experiments. What is the different techniques we are using for the simulations? Okay. The simulation we define and what are the different techniques are using in the simulation, and descriptive not normative tool, and what are the different descriptive tools and what are the different not normative tools, often to solve very complex risky problems. So in general it is to solve the very complex situations, very complex situations that are also known as the risky problems, that are is used for risky problems. Okay. So the advantages of simulations are theory is straightforward. Okay. So always theory is straightforward. Always the theory is straightforward, but the real time environment may be different. Is it not? So we can't understand how the real time environment is focusing on time compression. Okay. The advantage of simulations are theory is straightforward and time compression and descriptive. Okay, and it is descriptive, and MSS builder interfaces with the manager to gain intimate knowledge of the problem. That is, marital selfless system is interfacing with the gain intimate knowledge of the problem, and model is built from the manager's perspective. See, after doing your you are going to be as a manager's level, is it not? So your manager's level, these models are defined, is used, and it is implemented to build from the manager's perspective. From the manager's perspective, these different models are implementing. Manager needs to go generalized understanding. So after all, to implement the different models, you have to have idea of the models, is it not? That's what we discussed, model of the model and how the model is going to work. You have to have the knowledge and understanding. Each component represents a real problem component. Each component is a real component and wide variation of a problem types. What is meant by wide variation? How a particular pointing a focus variable, how it is influencing the various variables, how it is influencing the other variables. Wide variation in problem types and can experiment with the different variables. Also can be experiment with the different variables and also allows for real life problem complexities. Just now we have seen it is used for real time life problem complexities and easy to obtain many performance measures directly. It is also obtain many performance measures directly and it also frequently the only DSS modeling tool for non-structured problems. Frequently it is used for DSS modeling tool for non-structured problems. Okay, and limitations of simulation. Okay, what are the different limitations of simulation, sir? Cannot guarantee in optimal solution. Okay, so to optimize a particular scenario, we cannot give a guarantee for that by using the simulation, is it not? Cannot guarantee an optimal solution and slow and costly construction process. But when we are using the simulation or DSS, it is not a rapid going. Okay, study and slowly you have to study and implement the model. Slow study and implement the model, that is slow and costly construction process and cannot transfer solutions and interferences to solve other problems. When we are see, we have to focus on a specific variable, how that variable is influencing. Okay, so cannot transfer solutions and interference to solve every situation is a specific purpose, is it not? So cannot transfer solutions and interferences to solve other problems, is it not? It is not easy to simplify to other problems. So easy to sell to managers may miss analytical solutions. Okay, it is also easy to sell to managers and sometimes may miss analytical solutions also. Software is not so user friendly. Software may not be a user friendly. What are the different methodologies or can be used for simulation? Okay, so the different methodologies we can use for simulation is defining the problem, construct a simulation model, test and validate model, design experiments, conduct experiments, evaluate results, implement solution. See, there are the 7 different stages are there of a simulation methodology. That is the define the problem. Okay, the first one is define the problem, construct simulation model. Based on the problem, we have to construct a simulation model, and after constructing, always obviously we have to test the model. Test the model, validate the model, and design the experiments. What are the different experiments, the expected experiments, and after experiments, whether we are getting the experiments are reaching the reality, and we evaluate results, okay, and implement the solution. If it is everything is good, we can implement the simulation model in reality. Okay, what are the different simulation types? The simulation types are probabilistic simulation, probabilistic simulation, that is discrete distributions, continuous distributions, probabilistic simulation, that is Monte Carlo technique, and time dependent versus time independent simulation. Time dependent, time slots we are considering, and independent simulation also we are considering simulation software. What are the different softwares are used for simulation, and what are the different visual simulations we can use, what are the different object oriented simulations we are going to use, what are the different object oriented simulations we are going to use. So this is about the simulation model, the advantages, the approaches of DSS. Okay, and what are the different models are there in DSS? What are the different types of models? Okay, you go through this class. If you study this, if you have any problem to understand any topic, we can communicate so that we can go on. Okay, thank you.